And we should be live. Hold on, let me check. We actually are, or if my computer's just lying to me. Playlist. Is this working? Okay, it seems to be working. Uh, only I could find technical difficulties this late in the game. Hello everyone. New year, same old nonsense. Uh, last time I streamed, I recapped some of the shows that I watched in 2025, and we are continuing that today. We're going to be checking over the different shows that I've been watching in 2025, the stuff that finished and started. I had a lot of fun with so many of these shows, and I'm really excited to keep going. I know last time I promised stats, and I promised that I would do a follow-up stream. I know that this is like not the day after I did the last stream, but that's besides the point. So what I am going to be doing is I'm going to be continuing through the show and the shows and stuff like that, and I have a fun little sneak peek for the channel. Not sneak peek, but just like information about what the channel is going to do this coming year. So if you want stats and you want info on the channel, make sure you stay till the end. Yeah, I have some maple green tea with me. It's quite nice. The maple flavor is a little strong, but I can deal with that. So last time I ended off, I'm not gonna try to like recap all of the shows that I did earlier in the last live stream because that took way too long. But I am gonna quickly go through a lot of them and talk about some of my favorite episodes. And first up, we got Hilda season 3. Because last time I ended off on Ianu and Moon Girl season 2. Hilda season 3 was truly an experience. I think Hilda season 2 is like exactly what I want from Hilda, but Hilda season 3 is more like a wrap up. It definitely feels like they had their wrap up with the Mountain King movie, but I really enjoyed season 3. It was just nice to see them all grown up. David feeling a little more like chill and confident was really nice to just experience. There's just a lot of things here that I really enjoyed. I liked episode 2 of season 3 of Hilda. I really liked the way that the fairies are a new like concept we're exploring of like this sort of like, is pagan the right word? Like kind of this like Norse mythology, Norse Irish, like the mix of like this sort of medieval fantasy sort of like exploration. I really enjoyed that. And also just the connection that Hilda had with her mom. I think that's actually one of the strongest things of the entire series. So I'm very happy with how that turned out. When we were introduced to Hilda's dad this season, I was like, she has one of those? What's going on? And I was trying to figure out like what was the entire purpose of the season, like where was the season going? And because I was watching a weekly compared to like how Netflix wants you to watch, compared to how like Netflix wants you to watch it with like binging stuff, it was a lot easier for me to like find to like see little clues, little things together, and just make it more interesting, you know. Um, so yeah, and I had a sneaking suspicion that like Joanna was part fairy. I don't remember exactly what tipped me off on that, but it was just like, oh, this feels like this feels like a good twist, like a good reveal. Because Hilda's hair is blue, and she's the only character with like anime colored hair. So I was like, what's going on? I'm actually gonna reduce my volume a little bit. Yeah. I think this is better. This is a far more comfortable zone for me. Yeah, this is a far more comfortable zone for me. Um, but no, I really liked Hilda a lot, and my favorite episode of the entire season was actually season 3, episode 6, The Forgotten Lake. I think that like Hilda and her mom bonding and everything like that, that was so nice, and just the fact that like she's having these memory flashes and things like that, really cool. Um, the thing that I love about season 3 episode 6 is the creature design for this like frog bug thing. I call it the thing, but oh my god, it's so good. Like the sound design, the like way that the character is just designed, and the like animation of like how the sound and the character design work together with like the little blobs on the like ribbits on its thing. Oh, so peak. And because Hilda is such a like slice of life show that's very chill, very cool, very fun, and very funky, I think that having a horror episode is one of the best things that a film could do. That like not a film, but like the show could do, because it's so cozy and comfy, you know. So yeah, I really liked Tilda season 3. I'm very sad that it's over, but stories need to end. I don't think the finale was like a grand culmination of Hilda. It's just like, oh, this is a fun story to watch, and like it didn't feel like a series finale, but it felt like a solid conclusion to Hilda the character. And I really think that's all we needed, because they had their big conclusion with the Mountain King movie. What else? Arc the Animated Series Part 1. This was a weird one, because Arc the Anime, I know nothing about the Arc games. I know nothing about like the franchise of Arc and whatever it entails. But I was interested in this because it's one of the few Paramount adult animated shows. Typically, Paramount like caters animation towards like kids and things like that, which is fine, which is totally okay. But the fact that like Paramount is interested in exploring this meant that there was a lot of stuff. For anyone who doesn't know, I can't exactly say what Arc is, because Arc is so confusing to me as someone who has seen only the 6 episodes. Basically, people from different periods in time all appear on this island, and they are like they're trying to figure out a way out, but they're from different time periods. So there's someone from like modern day Australia, there's someone from the Roman period, there's someone from like I think Chinese like warrior era, which is pretty fun. Michelle Yeoh and the main character are gay and gay for each other, which is like the last thing I expected. I mean, I mean the protagonist in episode 1 is like we see a lot about her like with her like significant other, and how they're like getting on together, and significant other passes away or something on a dangerous exhibition that she's just like, no, don't go, but then she dies anyways. I'm like, oh no. But I really enjoyed like the way that different cultures were coming together. The thing I really enjoyed the most was like the main characters like interacting with one another. So there was like someone who is Native American, someone who's Australian, and someone who is Chinese, and that kind of like merged together in a way that I didn't think that I really expected. It's incomplete for sure, but there needs to be it was supposed to this part 2 was supposed to release this year, but then it got delayed. It was supposed to release in 2025, but it got delayed to 2026, and I was like, guess I'm gonna have to like figure out what I'm gonna do after this. I don't think there's one specific episode that stands out. I think episode 2 I remember liking, but I also remember the finale was like a very ambitious ending considering they only had 6 episodes. But I am very excited for part 2 when it comes out. Batman Cape Crusader. Holy, okay. Next stream I'll get into like some other stuff, but in 2025 I also watched the Batman 2022. So there's a grand total of 5 DC properties that I have seen, 2 of which I'll be discussing in the next stream. So that's a teaser for later. And those include my very first introduction to DC was a Justice League by Zack Snyder. Not the Snyder cut of Justice League, but the like cut down version. And I was like, this is bad. Like, this doesn't feel good. And the only reason I didn't even want to watch the film. My cousin was just like, oh, you're a human. I am a boy. We are going to movie. What will teen humans like? Oh, I know, Zack Snyder. And it's like, no. But no, I really thought that Batman Cape Crusader. So aside from Zack Snyder, I've also seen My Adventures with Superman, which and there's also a discussion about that at some point. I've also seen the Batman 2022, Superman 2025, Young Justice, and now Batman Cape Crusader. So Batman Cape Crusader was really interesting. So the medium of a film is very different from the medium of a movie. Of a TV show, you can have like small stories that are like interconnected with one another. I'm sipping my tea. You can have small stories that are interconnected with one another, but you can't really have one big thing, you know? So Batman Cape Crusader was my first real introduction to Batman, and I had a lot of fun with it. It was like a villain of the week kind of story that was like softly serialized, and it felt like a very 80s noir kind of vibe. I have no familiarity with Batman outside of the 5 media properties that I've seen, one of which I slept through, Zack Snyder, and one of them that has 0 Batman in My Adventures Superman, and also Superman 2025. So I have a very small pool of like Young Justice, the Batman 2022, and now Cape Crusader. So when I watched Cape Crusader, I was having a lot of fun because it was really like, I don't know how to explain it. The way that it just like took its time and let the story evolve over time. There's just a lot of really cool choices that they made here. And I'm really happy that the show got like picked up. Some of my favorites were episode 3, Kiss of the Catwoman. I love Catwoman being like rich and just like, I want to be richer, and it's great. Harley Quinn was a real choice. I did not expect that at all. Harvey Dent was I had a feeling that he would be important to Batman lore, but I didn't realize he would be Two-Face. I've also seen Harley Quinn. So Batman is very prominent in that. I've seen a lot more DC properties than I've realized. Holy, okay. But no, I really liked Harley Quinn. We need to reunite the girls immediately. I really liked Kiss of the Catwoman. That was really good. But yeah, no, it was such a fun show to experience because it was like slowly developing Bruce and like delving into his psychology a lot more. It very clearly was like Bruce is not ready to deal with this. Not the fact that like he's being weird or anything like that. He is far more charismatic of a character than he was in the Batman 2022. I know there are like different stories, different directors, different teams, whatever, but like the choice to have Bruce Wayne be charismatic and like use his wealth for the greater good is something that Pattinson in Batman 2022 hasn't figured out. So that was a really interesting contrast to see because I watched both of them last year in 2025. So yeah, I'm excited for season 2. I'm really, really excited for season 2. I need more. This is my first Batman media I've consumed. That's a TV show, and I love TV shows. As much as I do enjoy films, TV shows are like my jam. So yeah. Next up, Mob Psycho 100 season 3. This I was just bored one day and I was like, you know what? I want to watch more stuff, but I have nothing to do today. So I don't want to break any of my weekly watches because I feel like I'm having a nice pace with them. And forcing a binge that like my brain hasn't like caught up with is like not usually a good sign. So I was like, what show do I feel okay binging? And typically the answer is anime because anime does this thing where it's like weird cliffhangers, especially if it's like adapted from a manga. But Mob Psycho 100 season 3 was so good. Oh my god, I have never felt Mob Psycho overall is like the best show ever. Is like one of the best seasons of TV ever. I like one of the best shows on TV. Like I truly cannot describe how good and fun Mob Psycho is. That isn't just like power bullshit, you know. It was so good. It was so good. I really, I I do think I got lost a bit with the whole like dimple stuff. But Serizawa, my man. Oh, when he got that haircut at the end of season 2, I was like, I need to bite him. Like, I need to bite him after this haircut. The Divine Tree arc was fine. I didn't really love it, but I was like, you know what, this is a fun like experience. And the fact that Mob figures out that Dimple cares for him because he actually told him his true feelings is so funny. But no, I had that, and the last couple of episodes were really great. I especially love in the finale when they use the season 1 OP to when Reagan is running after Mob. Oh, literally peak. That's literally peak. And when Reagan was crying, like, Mom, I love you. I'm telling you the truth. What you've been waiting for so long. He was crying and stuff. And I'm like, oh, this is something I needed. I needed like Reagan to look absolutely sad and pathetic as he begs for Mob back. It's so good, and I was laughing so much. I did like that at the end. Tsubomi didn't get together with Mob, but they did resolve it eventually. So yeah, I think the Mob is just so good, and I'm so sad that there's not more, but it got the ending that it needed, and I am very happy with that. A lot of stories need to get the ending they deserve, and not a lot of shows end or get the ending they deserve. So yeah, I am truly excited for more anime in general. Invincible season 3. Oh god. So when I finished season 2, I thought season 2 was okay. But when I was going into season 3, I was like very hesitant because in the season 2 finale, Mark has broken up with Amber, and Eve from the future tells Mark to like basically like just end things with Eve, like resolve the elephant in the room, tell her you love her or you don't, and just like let her go. And it's just like, wow, okay, cool, this is heteronormativity strikes again. But when I was starting season 3, I was nervous because of like everything that Mark went through in the season 2 finale and everything that would happen there. I knew that Cecil was gonna be a big like character of importance in like the show, so I was like, you know what, let's see what Cecil's up to. And the first 2 episodes, episode 1 resolving the duplicates, like, oh my god, I'm dead for real, no, I'm actually alive for real. That was a lot. I did really like Rex this season. I really enjoyed him because he was like trying to be good, trying to be better. But classic Invincible, if a character is showing any signs of healthy progression, they cannot be on the show for long. I do like that like we don't really see Rex coming. But yeah, I think season 2 where Cecil and Mark have like their great divergence. Episode 3, which is a combination of like Oliver and Mark and that sort of teaching together, combined together with Eve and their date. Just these things, like season 3 has become a lot more solid. I feel like season 2 did a lot more groundwork than season 1. But I feel like we're really seeing the benefits of what season 2 was. Season 3 episode 4 with the reveal that there's only a few Viltrumites left was really cool. This was I think episode 5 was not my favorite because Machine Head's episode, I think, was season 1 episode 5 or episode 6. I think episode 5. I thought that was the best episode of season 1 until the finale. But when this came up, I was like, okay, I understand that they're trying to like develop on this plot thread, but there's just so much stuff going on that it's hard to follow sometimes. But I really season 3 episode 6 was fine. Powerplex is just such an intense character, and I feel so bad for his voice actor because he's like, oh my god, because it feels like he's taking 3 business days to like develop a sentence in his head, and it's funny, but also it's like, why are we doing this? Yeah, it was fine. It was fun. But the season 3 finale, I need to go through the action in that episode because when Mark gets thrown into a building and then just turns out to be like when Mark gets thrown into the building and he tries to get up, like the animation of his hair has lived in my head rent free for all of 2025. And I'm really excited for season 4 because that means we deal with the consequences. I am really happy with season 3. I think episode 7 was the messiest of it all. I think that we have like 2 sides to the spectrum because I think that season 3 episode 5, this was supposed to be easy, is one of the most cleanest episodes of the season, and I mean that in a very neutral way because it's like, oh, this is a very simple narrative that we're engaging with, and it's really fun. But I also think that that it kind of makes it like stagnant a bit. But when we got to season 3 episode 7, I think that's the messiest episode of the whole season, but also like such a good episode because it's just like there's so much going on, there's so many characters just like sacrificing. Like Rex's sacrifice was wild. God, this entire season was just really good here. The only criticism that I actually have is against season 3 episode 5 and maybe season 3 episode 1, but season 3 episode 1 is just like the premiere. Like I still think it's a very good episode, especially with like the slice of life stuff that I enjoyed. Multi-Paul? Wait, no, I need to discuss this. Wait, no, Multi-Paul? Like, did Kate ever mention having a sibling? Because I remember starting at being like, Multi-Paul? When? Who? Because he's avenging Kate's death, and it's just like, what? What is happening? And I was just like, okay, I guess we have Multi-Paul now, and I still don't understand the purpose of Multi-Paul other than to like other than for like that one sequence where Mark is like fighting him, you know. I don't understand it, but otherwise it's good. I really want to see more Oliver. Oliver is to me like one of the strongest parts of the show, because it's like it's this reversal from season 1 where like Mark was being taught by his dad, and now Mark is teaching Oliver. And also the Rutal twins just dying. Like, there's a lot of like really random left turns that I did not expect this season. But now good. Can't wait for season 4 in March. Tomb Raider, The Legend of Lara Croft. Oh, I've been excited to talk about this one. Season 2 came out a little while ago, and I haven't finished season 2, so I will be talking about it at the end, because I did watch parts of it in 2025. I have not encountered much of the Tomb Raider. I've not encountered much of the Tomb Raider games. I only know who Lara Croft is. I didn't know that it was this sort of like, what's it called? This sort of like Uncharted, checking out the history of a location. Like Uncharted is very much like archaeological findings and things like that, and just like the engaging with history of an area and personal developments around that. I think season 1 was fairly good. I don't think it was like the best season of TV, but I think it was really solid and really engaging and pretty engaging. But I don't think that there's anything here that I absolutely spoke to. I think maybe episode 4, where Lara's like meeting with someone from the past, and there's a couple of sequences in episode 3 at the end where there's this sort of like fantastical, surreal sort of moment, and I really enjoy when they blur the lines between like, is the mythology of this place real and the real world. I think that they are very successful with that, just based on the build-up that they do. And honestly, I really enjoyed it. So episode 3 and episode 4 were like the ones in my mind. I think that the season 1 finale was pretty decent. I don't remember much of it, to be honest, but I do remember like them. That I was surprised that they wrapped up the whole Devereaux plot by episode 7. I don't think any one episode stands out. I just think that like there are parts to each that I'm engaged with. Like in season 1, episode 6, Lara is like fighting with. Lara is like sand surfing in a desert with a with a wooden plank and a parachute attached to it. The thing that I absolutely, and to me that was like the best action sequence of season 1, because she's trying to fight using this plank and this parachute and navigate through an environment where she can't see, and just if you watch any one thing, watch the desert sequence fight in episode 6. It is literally the best thing ever. Because like there's this moment where like she puts her foot, she has to like maneuver through, because like her hands are full. I think her hands were full, or like there's, for some reason she couldn't, her upper body was not like a viable strategy, so she like stamps her foot into the plank, and then she just uses her like she uses her foot and the plank to like fight in the sequence, but it's attached to the parachute, so the wind of the sand is just blowing, and it guides her in the wrong direction. If there's one thing in the entire show that I like recommend anyone check out, it is the desert fight in episode 6. Even if you don't watch anything else, watch the desert fight in episode 6. That is the best part of the entire show. But no, I did enjoy this quite a bit, and I do have a lot of thoughts about season 2, but I'll start them, but I won't talk about them until much later. Deli Boys, this is a live action show, Deliboys. I love Deli Boys. Oh my god, there was a couple of videos that were like popping on my TikTok about how out of pocketly like they see the show is, and it was so funny. It's set in Philadelphia. It's about two nepo babies who suddenly inherit their dad's area. Like fortune. Turns out that he's not actually a guy who sells cheap stuff, sells like very nice things. He's also on the black market, which was really fun. There were a couple of things in this show that I quite enjoyed. I think episode 3 where they're doing it through they're like trying to sell the cocaine through like an Indian shop because they put in pickle jars. Oh, that's an amazing thing. I love Raj's is his name Raj? Hold on. Yeah, Raj. Raj being being engaged to this being engaged to the daughter of the Indian shop who's really into like anime nerdy stuff. It's so good. It's so good. And his actual girlfriend being like a big chakra lady is so funny. I love season 1 episode 7 so much because she's such a focus. She's like she's working with the FBI agents who are trying to hunt down Raj and Mir, and the FBI agents are like, you are the worst plant and the worst spy in the history of spy, because they're blackmailing her. And she goes, well, your roots are showing. And one of the guys there is just like, ooh, she got you there. It's like, bro, TPO, like time, place, occasion, like shut up. It was so funny. And there's this one scene where a British Desi guy comes and kidnaps their lucky auntie, the mom from Never Have I Ever, and they have to go to a hotel, and they're just like, oh shoot, we don't have the key, how do we get in? And then Mir, one of the brothers, is just like, dude, that lady, I know her. She can't tell brown people apart. And so they speak with like a very bad like British accent, and they were like, oh yes, I went up there, I forgot my keys, could you help me out, love? And she's like, okay. And it's so funny. Oh, I love Deli Boys. Episode 7 is my pick for the best episode. Even though like the finale was pretty good, episode 3 and episode 7 are like some of the peak. I was just in a good mood, and now I have to talk about RWBY Volume 9. So RWBY, I have a very complicated relationship with RWBY. I binged all of it back when season 5 ended. I'm not going to say volumes because I don't think it deserves that respect. Season 5 was okay, it was mediocre. Season 6 was the best season of Ruby, even if it wasn't like the specifically like season specifically like the season wasn't great objectively. It was just great and really good based on what Ruby already is. Season 7, I got queer baited. We all got queer baited in season 7. Season 8, I did not care for that, even though there are some really nice visual moments. And then between season 8 and season 9, a lot of stuff about Rooster Teeth came out, and it was really bad. Really, really bad. So when volume 9 came out, I think it was 2024. When volume 9 came out, I watched the first 5 episodes and I was like, oh, I really don't care about this. And then I had like a 5-episode gap. I don't know what show was starting. I think Dun 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 was about to start, but I had like 4 weeks in between, or like 5 weeks in between. Hold on. So I was like, okay, what can I fill in with like 4 to 5 episodes? And the only thing that I could come up with was Ruby, and I was like, okay, let's watch Ruby. So I watched episodes 6 through 10. Honestly, it was okay. There was nothing bad, nothing awful. I think Jean was actually funny this season. Neo, they got rid of her, which is very sad because she's the best character in the show, not because she's an actual character, but because she doesn't speak with with bad Ruby dialogue to ruin anything. She doesn't spoil the illusion of potential. But no, I think all these episodes were okay. I did not expect the abuse in season 9, episode 8. I do think that I do like Ruby's conclusion by season 9, episode 10. But overall, I'm just kind of like, I'm not interested. I like the surrealism of the season, but I just am not interested in Ruby a lot. I really just wanted to end this and just say, goodbye, Ruby. I will never see you again. If you do happen to come back, so be it, but goodbye. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Lazarus. This was upsetting. I had high hopes for the season just because it was like, it looked really fun. And I had a lot of like faith in like the action sequences, because this was by the show made by the creator of Cowboy Bebop. And I was like, okay, I've heard a lot of things about Cowboy Bebop, but what's going on here? I do like a lot of the action in the show. I think I don't remember what episode it was, but I think it was season 1, episode 3, where Axel has the elevator fight with the guards. That was the one thing that I do really remember liking. I do like a lot of Axel's parkour. I think the first episode, his parkour was actually pretty good. Episode 4 had some great running action. I think like when the plan starts like falling apart a little bit in episode 4, that was really fun. Episode 7 was like really serene and really chill, and it was like very existential of like, oh, we only have so much time left, but this is the world that we're in. Episode 8 was probably the most engaging like character backstory thing, but overall, aside from that, it just didn't compel me as much. I do like the philosophical ideas, I do like the existentialism, but at the end of the day, it just kind of felt like the show wasn't going as it was going very deep into these concepts, but it wasn't just like engaging these concepts really well between the fights and the like story itself. And I think that the base story just needs to be amped quite a bit. I think that we need to deal a lot more with on the ground people like being like, oh no, I'm scared, I'm terrified. And like Carol in the End of the World did that really well, where it's just like showing people reacting to things in a way that makes it clear that they are living the last moments of what could be their life. But yeah, I'm not I'm not upset at Lazarus. I'm just disappointed, which is arguably worse. Smiling Friends. So I had a 4-week gap as well with this one, and I started watching Smiling Friends to be like, okay. Back when it first was announced and it first dropped on April Fool's Day, I was like, I don't like the art style. I don't like the animation style. It's not fun. And I was really, I really was like digging into Smiling Friends because it wasn't like, it was like all the things that like, oh, it's cheap. It looks cheap. It looks gross. It's like not showing the beauty of animation. But honestly, after seeing the first season, I would take that back. Like, Smiling Friends is not only really good, but it's actually like a very interesting case study into the like slice of life narrative, this like domestic narrative that characters can have in animation, and just like the kind of fights. But it goes into fantastical stuff, which is kind of weird, but that's kind of like the fun of Smiling Friends. Let me see. I do like how they do a lot of the jokes. The faces are so funny. What episodes were fun? A silly Halloween special. I did like it, but the editing made it so good because it was like, "Are you doing blackface, dude?" And like such a progressive sort of thing. That's so funny. The Enchanted Forest was a lot of fun. I did not expect that. And the fact that it was a bomb, oh my god, it was so good. And Charlie dies and doesn't come back, the season 1 finale. I did not expect this at all. Like, it was such a good episode. It was so fun. I thought this happened in season 2 because when season 2 aired, I saw a clip from the season 1 finale, and because I didn't watch Smiling Friends, I was like, oh, this is clearly something from season 2 since the show just dropped and this is a clip from a Smiling Friends episode. So I was really surprised to see that. I don't know what happens in season 2 to season 4. The only thing I know in season 2 is like the TikTok audio of like, finally, what the fuck? It's so fun. But yeah, no, I really like Smiling Friends. I do plan on catching up with seasons 2 and 3 later, but yeah. Fairfax season 2. This was an interesting follow-up. Fairfax I had a hard time watching just because it's like, oh my god, they're doing stuff about like cringe culture and like a lot of the fashion, like pop culture stuff. And that's not something that I'm necessarily interested in. This like luxury social media, like it's a good show, I'm not gonna lie, but oh my god. Season 2 episode 1 was okay. I think the werewolf stuff was weird. I think the only episodes I really liked were season 2 episode 5, season 2 episode 7, and season 2 finale. Those were the best episodes to me. Just because like all those episodes had something that I like, a level of character development that I did not anticipate. Like Erica with all of the detention people, the big twist of like I forgot the AI girlfriend's name. I forgot Truman's AI girlfriend's name, but it was really nice. I had so much fun with this show, and I wish there was more, but also at the same time, like, can I handle more? And the answer is yes, but also no. just the way that they do fashion and like the way that they go all out on the campy weirdness, and the fact that like this could be something that you could do in animation in live action, but oh my god, it's elevated by the animation a lot, even if you can't really tell. But yeah, Fairfax good. Craig of the Creek season 4. This was interesting. So I caught up. So I don't know when this was, but I saw Craig of the Creek season 4 up to episode 12 in Search of Lore. I think that was the Xavier episode where he finds out about the cube. And then I started going through a lot more. I really liked Craig. I think that the best thing that they do is the season 3 finale. But there's just a lot of like little things. Every episode of Craig is good, which is so surprising in a show that has like, I don't know, like 4 40 episode seasons and then like 2 10 episode seasons, which is actually one 20 episode season, but I just split up. But I had a lot of fun with this. So I'm only going to talk about season 4, episode 13 onwards. Opposite Day was so fun, and it was like the paradox stuff was really good. That does blow like the mind a lot. Dodgy Decisions. I love how there's this running gag of like them being punted into the sun. That's great. Hide and Zeke. Grandma Smugglers. Oh my god, Raj's dad is so hot, and I love that all the kids were like, oh my god, he's a very attractive man. It's so good. He's so Daisy and so hot. And I love I love Raj's grandma. That's like, I think that's one of the best episodes of the season. Champion Tank was fine. Scout Guest Jason being there was not something that I expected. The staring contest with My Stare Lady was really cool. Craig to the Future is kind of like a very important episode because it like sets the basis of Craig's fears and worries in season 5, which we will get to, don't worry. But it was fun. Puppy Love. Craig of the Creek, you need to stop having these like furry characters. The horse girls are fine because they are girls pretending to be horses, but like the fact that there's a girl who is literally a puppy is so uncomfortable. But Wilderness episode is always good, and Craig, you need to read the signals a bit more, my guy. I do like in Craig to the Future they are very clearly dating. I was like, yes. Let's see here. The Jumbo. Oh, that's a skipping rope one. The Cowboy and Marie. Oh, that's great. Yeah, I like the horse girls coming to like a conclusion, and the gag of like, and the funny joke of like, oh no, this train is a runaway, we're gonna crash, and them just like actually being like the train being so much smaller than them, even though the perspective forces you in that way. This is only something that animation can do. I mean, live action can do this, but like, oh my god, it's so good. Craigie and the Slime Factory. This was just a Willy Wonka episode. Like normally, I'm not caught up on a lot of these stories, but like Willy Wonka, I've seen, so it's just like, what am I watching? And I was just like, it's gonna be Willy Wonka by the end, and it was Willy Wonka. A Tattletale is the worst episode of the season. Craig of the Campus was really fun, and that like makes way for Bernard of the Creek. And Left in the Dark was one of my favorites because I love a good story background. I'm getting my tea. So yeah, Craig season 4 good. I'm very sad that it got canceled, but like Zaslav, come on, get your act together. Ooh, Severance. Severance season 1. Severance is like one of those shows that like I've heard nothing but good things about, and I'm just like, okay, let's see what Severance is up to. The I do like the way that they force the perspective to be from different characters. So like in the first episode, it's hell like this philosophical idea of like splitting your memory between two bodies, and who do you become when you don't have the knowledge of who you were, but you're still like in this sort of corporate environment, and just like the issues that come with that, the difficulties that come with that, the like troubles that come with that is so fun and exciting. um I think that there's so many good acting, so many good, so much great acting in this show. I especially gotta commend Britt Lauer, who plays Helly Riggs. She was incredible. Oh my god, we'll talk about her more. We'll talk about her more when we get to Severance season 2. But like, oh, this show, like, she's such a good actress. Oh my god, she can show like that raw passion and also that like cold calculation. It's so good. The season is so good. I also gotta shout out Patricia Arquette, who plays Harmony Cobell. Literally the best. Like she's incredible. All the women in the show just like baffle me with how incredibly like good actors they are. Let me see any episodes in particular I liked. I remember really liking the season 1 finale. I think that is the best episode of the entire show. It's the best season finale I've seen all year, and I think that the show is very good. It's like one of the best things. We'll get into a lot more of what I like about it. Like Bert and Irving are like, oh, they're so good and they're so gay. Oh, more. I need more. I know I'm gonna have to wait 3 years for more, but it's 2 years technically, because it's got 2025, 3 years, 2028. Yeah. Oh, show is so good. Orb on the Movements of the Earth. So I was catching up with a lot of anime this year. More than I usually do. So I was recommended Orb on the Movements of the Earth as like one of the top animes of the year, and I was like, okay, let me check it out. And this was like back in March, and then Netflix got it, so I was like, oh, I'll just watch it on Netflix. And I started watching it, and I was hooked. Oh my god, I was hooked in. This show was so good. It's like the combination of like the unreliability of history, the sacrifices that people have to make the price of the truth. Like, I plan to make a video about it at some point. Not this year, but at some point. And I'm really excited. God, if there's one anime you watch this year, no. Yeah. Orb good. Orb really, really good. My favorite character. My favorite character, I think, has to be. Hold on, let me find her name. Yolenta, yeah, I really liked Yolenta as a character because she's the only one who gets to survive the time skip that is related to the main characters. I really enjoyed like the questions about things and everything like that. I also really thought that like I also thought that Draka was one of the best characters, like Oxy, but then like all of these like main characters were so engaging. And like Nowak, like, oh, him being like, oh, I'm realizing it now. I was the villain of this whole story. I was not the one helping and freeing and liberating people. I was the villain. And it's like, damn, imagine how much like introspection and guts you have to think that as you're on your deathbed. Like, oh, he's such a complex and like amazing character. And honestly, I would vote for, like, if there was like an awards thing to be like, who's the best anime character of like animes that have aired this year. I I think it would be very easy to just vote Noah. But yeah, I think that there's a lot of really fun episodes. It's hard to say which one's my favorite because there's so many that just like it does this anime thing where it just like bleeds into the next and things like that. Um, but the show is really good, really good. Yeah, I love astronomy. I will say that the so I was watching these episodes on my TV, and there's a lot of nighttime scenes, and it's very hard to see what's going on during the nighttime scenes. Like, I think they were trying to go for like the beauty of the night sky and the light pollution without light pollution, but it just didn't show up on the screen when I watched it during the day. So if you are watching Orb on the Movements of the Earth, I highly recommend you watch it at night, or if you have sorry, or if you have like blackout curtains, I also recommend those. What else? Apothecary Diaries season 2. So I had a lot. Season 2 was so good. Season 2 was one of the Apothecary Diaries season 1 was one of the shows that like I binged as soon as I found it, and I'm like, oh my god, it's so good. So I binged the first half of season 2, and I got to the part where season 2 episode 11, which is the most recent out dub episode, had Mao Mao and Jinshi in the cave, away from the gunslingers, and oh my god, I ended on that, and I had to wait a full week for the next episode to come out. I was like, no, I need to know. But season 2 episode 11. But the show was, and then after that I watched it weekly. But the show is so good. I think I like a lot of the first 2/3 of season 2. Of season 2, but uh I just had a lot of issues when it came to I just really enjoyed the like episodic stuff. There are a couple of episodes that I really enjoyed. Um Let me see. Season 2 episode 6, The Crystal Pavilion, with like with Lady Liwa and her cousin. Season 2 episode 7, The Shrine of Choosing, which was like the emperor navigating through different through like the different doors to be seen as king. Like, that's such a cool puzzle. 7, 8, 9, 12. Oh my god, 12 was such a troll. um 12 was such a troll with like Jinshi and Mao Mao, like, oh my god, girl, she's like, I refuse to pay attention to the plot. I'm paying attention to the plot, not the shoujo anime of this. It's like, girl, you need to pay attention to the shoujo anime because the plot is inherently tied to the shoujo anime. And she's like, she hasn't figured out she's in a romance, and it's so funny. It's literally the best. um I think Shui being introduced was like reintroduced to the main story was a fun thing. I think that it was pretty good. The plot twist though of like what's her name? What's her name? The Concubine Lolan being the girl introduced at the beginning of season 2 was something I did not see coming. Like, I'm usually pretty good at like either predicting plot twists or things like that, but I was like, how is all of this connected? How is like this girl like connected? How is Lolan, Sishui, and like the plot going on in the background connected to what's going on here? And I just had no idea how Lolan and Sishui were like tied together. Lolan and Sishui were tied together, and I was like, what is going on here? And then it was like they're sisters. It's like, oh my god. And it's like, oh, what? It's like, this is Concubine Lolan. And it was such a good twist because Concubine Lolan was introduced in season 1, and this girl was brought up in season 2, episode 1. So it's very clear that like, oh, this is a new character and we're gonna learn about who she is. And there's definitely some sketchy stuff, but I never could have predicted Concubine Lolan. I think that for the most part the season's really good. The only issue that I really had was with the last 4 episodes. I think that the confrontation with between like Jinshi and the Stronghold was like really fast, and a lot of that was just Mao Mao's thoughts giving us exposition, which is like a classic Apothecary Diaries. But I feel like, and also the show just having like what's it called, just the show being like rushing this encounter a lot, and specifically being like, oh, we were doing things off screen to stop you, mother. And it's like, how dare you. I did not find that super engaging, and I think I would have liked it a lot more if it was engaging. I think that like I got hooked onto Lolan's plot because of her like secret identity thing, and because we sympathize with her. But for the most part, she was just episodic, like person just kind of there. So it was not my favorite. But yeah, no, I think season 2 is great. I'm ready for season 3 this year. It was announced for October. Come on, baby. We're so close. Heartstopper season 1. This was rough. So I've read all of the Heartstopper graphic novels. The only thing I have not seen is the last volume of Heartstopper, volume 6. I'm waiting to get a print edition so that I can just like read it like as a book. I have all 5 of the printed copies of the books with me, and I'm having a lot of fun with those. I watched season 1. It was really rough. Not because the season was bad. I think it was. I think it was fairly decent good. I just think that live action isn't as tightly paced as animation. So this was one thing where I was like, oh, I can feel that like this is taking too much of its time. And it was fine. It was fine. I do really like some of the changes. I will say Imogen is like one character that I absolutely adore. I think she's like one of the best additions to the whole season. I do like how youth is kind of portrayed in the show. It's one of my favorites. Tara and Darcy were cool. Tao and Elle are like my favorite ship. I don't know what it was in the first Heartstopper graphic novels, but there was some crack on those characters. I do wish that Tao was shorter than Elle, but you know what? I can deal. And then in season 1 episode, and for me, season 1 episode 7, Bully was actually my favorite. The one where like there's a confrontation between Harry and Tao, and Tao is just like really upset at Charlie for not telling him things, and feeling like his relationship's falling apart. I really enjoyed that. But overall, I thought it was fine. I thought it was a pretty good adaptation that they made some changes to. I did not expect the end of the first volume to be at episode 3. I thought that it would be longer than that. But yeah, Heartstopper, fine. Rick and Morty season 8. Uh, so I before I got into Rick and Morty, I was like not really interested because I was like, oh, it's one of those adult shows that just like is so popular, and it's like very popular with like people who are like the wrong crowd of people who will like not take this stuff seriously, and also just like not treat with enough sincerity what's going on, and miss the point of Rick and Morty while also completely understanding the point of Rick and Morty. So I thought seasons 1 to 4 I binged, so I hadn't really no kind of expectations for it. Uh, season 5 I thought was pretty up and down. But I think that like the premiere episodes and the finale of season 5 were like some of the best. Season 6, I think the first half of season 6 is like an incredible stretch of excellent episodes from Rick and Morty. Season 7, I did not find it super engaging. But season 8 started off really strong. I had some episodes I thought that all the episodes were really good. I just had some that stood up more, like a Summer of All Fears. The premiere episode was so funny because Summer's like being on an equal level to Beth because she of the Matrix stuff, and she ends up taking Beth down a peg. It was so funny. And Morty and Rick having this like building relationship, and him being like there was this joke there that Rick had with Beth, who was just like, "Is this about the?" She's like, "I need to talk to you about Summer," but she didn't say about Summer, just like that. And he basically goes, "Is it about the giving Morty the beers?" He has like 4 purple hearts, and Morty's like 5. 5 actually. That and a nickel will get you a cup of coffee, and Rick is like, "Disillusioned Morty, love that." God, that's the one joke that lives in my head so well. I really liked the slice of life repercussions of like what happened with Summer and Morty in the Matrix. That was so good. Valkyric, the only thing that I really liked about that sequence was the Cisco part, where it's just like, Cisco will be there, like, trust me, Silco is amazing. And then he doesn't, and then they have the voiceover narration while the plan is going so wrong. Like, you think it's going one way, but it's absolutely not. It's so good. The Rick, the Mort, and the Ugly. This is our like our every other season's like what's it called, every odd number season, every other season's episode of like, oh, the Citadel, what happened? And honestly, I was kind of done with the Citadel after like season 5 finale, episode 6, and then Evil Morty coming back in the middle of season 7. I was just kind of done, so I was like, you know what, forget this. Like, I cannot engage myself with this anymore. So I did not particularly love this episode. The Easter Bunny episode and Cryo Morta Rickfer 4 and 5 were not my favorites. The Curious Case of Benjamin Button, it was like the young Beth's episode. I was like, this is a fine episode and okay, but I'm kind of losing it here. I don't know why this episode feels important, even if I can't tell why. Episode 7 with like the generative AI stuff, the James Gunn versus what's his face versus Zack Snyder was so funny. And the fact that this episode released just before Superman 2025 came out made it even funnier. Such a good episode. I also really liked No More to Land, which was the Jerry episode. Wait, no, I have to go back to Rick Than Fiction. It's a commentary on generative AI and things like that. But there was one. Oh no, this was back in season 8, episode 4, the Easter Bunny one, where it's like climate change. It's like, oh wait, can I say that? I don't know which way Zaslav voted, Morty. It's like so funny. It's so good because Zaslav's so controversial. I love them taking pot shots at their at their CEO. No Mortland Jerry episode that's actually really good. That I did not expect. I did not expect them to make me love a Jerry episode. I think that they do a lot of really cool stuff with this. There's just a lot of like fun exploration. Ugh. No More Land is like easily one of my favorite episodes of the whole season. And then the season 8 finale. I was wondering, I was like, why does it feel like Beth is like such an important character here? And this episode finally like made me understand why. So like season 8 episode 2 with Space Beth and season 8 episode 6 with Rick and both Beths it like made so much more sense, those episodes, after the finale. And like, even though when I watched it I was like, oh, I didn't like it that much, I was like, oh no, these are actually good episodes within the context of the season 8 finale. And I do like how they're focusing a lot more on that, and it was really good. Like Beth like going into memories, like memory Rick going to memories and killing and like retraining Beth, Space Beth dying, that was wild. Just like the way that memory and stuff just keeps on like messing around was so good. I think that this is easily one of the best seasons of Rick and Morty. I think it's better than season 6. I will say that. I think overall this season is better than season 6, because season 6 to me, it just like has one, like half of it is very good. Half of it is really good, and the last and then season 6 episode 8 is also good, but for the most part it like loses that streak once they get the portal gun going. But when it comes to season 8, I think that all of these are just really fun, except for I think that season 8 episode 3 is objectively really good. I don't particularly like episode 4 or 5, but I think that overall, I think that this season does an arc in a way that I don't think I've ever seen Rick and Morty actually do, that wasn't just in the last episode. And yeah, it was really engaging and fun. Tales of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. This was a fun season. I started my Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle journey back in like in the early 2020s. In the early 2020s. So I watched Rise of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and the TV movie that came on Netflix, which were really good. I have no idea why there's wood, like just whatever. And then I watched Mutant Mayhem, which was also really fun, except for the like twist thing. What's it called? The twist thing, the like romance stuff with April. I do like that they made April black, fat, and short, and they made her still a viable romantic love interest, and seen as like desirable in that like design. I really enjoyed that character design thing. But aside from that, the Leonardo romance plot was the least interesting or engaging thing about that whole film. So Tales of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is actually a spin-off, sequel show that is meant to bridge the gap between the first movie and the second movie. They have an interesting format where like they have a narrator that narrates each of their like experiences when they encounter an event, and there's an interesting way of like non-linear storytelling where like you see the repercussions of the event and how each of them individually handle these repercussions, within a specific environment. Like Leonardo is going through the entirety of New York, hopping across buildings, running from this robot. Mikey and Raph are lost the robot, but the robot is trying to find them. And Donnie is like trying to navigate through a subway of people while running from this robot. And honestly, the Donnie one was the best episode. I think it was really good. And then when you get to episode 5, it's like, oh, here's what happened that got us here in the first place. And then episode 6 is like dealing with the consequence of that. But yeah, I think the first half was pretty fun, and then the second half was actually like very engaging. They have like 3 sea creatures that, as a result of the first movie that become mutants, and they are trying to like live their life, and like things. They got exiled from the ocean because of them being mutants. So there were a couple of episodes here. I think that the second half of the season, for the most part, had just like bits and pieces that I liked. I think season 1 episode 8 was my favorite, just because that's the one with like Mikey dealing with the purple dragon, and we meet Lee the eel, which was so good. And just the way of like going through a supermarket was really fun in the middle of a hurricane, in the middle of a storm in New York. And the season 2 finale was actually very good. There's like a really nice action sequence where like this mutant goldfish is fighting off against all of our protagonists, and it's one of the best episodes of the whole season. I think I would take the first half arc over the finale, but the finale on its own like ties very well with the first half. Yeah. Season 2 is out. I do plan on watching that at some point. I am like just trying to figure out, like, I'm starting the year, I'm like refreshing myself, you know. Big City Green season 4. So I didn't season 4 started in 2024, I think, and I did not catch up with it a lot. But when it was like, oh, Big City Greens is coming back, like, oh, should I catch up on it? So I decided to watch all of season 4 just in 2025 alone. So that's like 30 episodes, like about 60 segments. I'm not going to go through every single episode, but I am going to quickly go through like some episodes that I really loved. Green Trial, Bad Dad. I think introducing like Nancy's dad into the fray was really good. Iced was really good. I think that like Big City Greens oftentimes doesn't have like so many narratives going on that it makes things confusing. Because it makes things very confusing for an 11-minute episode. But Iced was one of those episodes where like so many characters were having individual plot lines, and it was all coming together very nicely to create this idea of chaos, and then them getting kicked out. I really did like Iced. I just think I'm going, as I'm doing this, I'm like going through the list to be like, okay, what episodes are there? Chip was fine this season. I think that after he had his big moment in 421, I was like, okay, like we're done. Like, dude, you should have been wrapped up like in season 3, but you're just holding this grudge forever. Let's see. There is one episode that I cannot get out of my head, and that is season 4, episode 7A, Family Tree. I love Family Tree. That's like the best episode of the season in my mind, because it's just it uses this form of like different senses and different sensations to form this idea of pleasure and connection with each other. Like Tilly focuses on the sounds of the tree, Cricket focuses on the touch of the tree, like the texture. Nancy is all about the taste. Grandma's Alice is all about this about the smell, and then Bill just keeps getting increasingly frustrated, and then finally like it ends with the sight of the sunrise, and it's just like all of these like senses coming together in this very pleasurable way that I've never seen Big City Greens or a show really try to get into it. This has got to be the most successful episode of Big City Greens that I have ever seen. And I need everyone to talk about this. It's literally the best episode of the whole season, if not the whole show. Let's see here. There are a couple of others. I'm just kind of moving through. So I caught up. So I once I reached season 4, episode 15, I stopped binging because that's when I caught up with the season. So I'm just going through all of the episode. Blue Green was really funny. I do really like Jade. I think that she's a very fun character. Gabriella was fun with April Fool. Let me see here. I do like that they had this moment where like Gabriella's like, yeah, I'm rebranding and I'm being a different person. Cricket's like, no, we can be goth together. And then it turns out like, no, you can't. You can't change who you are for someone, even if they have changed. And they're just like, want to break up? And I thought that was good. The issue is that Gabriella is not a character. I think they do a lot this season to try and do it. Like with April Fool, they try to like make her someone who like is engaging with Cricket a lot, but she's not. Like she's had such few appearances, and the only reason why she has more appearances this season than any other season is simply because they wanted her to break up with Cricket, and it was so funny. 100 was cute. I did really like the Grandma Alice plot. Everything else, not really. Chip's Revenge was didn't really love that. Swashbuckled was so funny how like they just turned into pirates accidentally / on purpose. After Dark is the one where like Cricket wants to see a drone show, but his dad's like, no, it's too late, and it's all about like, oh, make sure you don't get caught, and he does get caught, and things like that. It's such a fun, especially when he's just like, turn around, and everybody turns around, and he's like, no, only you, and it's like, okay, only us, no, halfway, it's like, okay, and it's like, no, only Cricket, it's like, okay. God, Bill is so funny. Spinned Off was a like commentary on artificial intelligence, which I really liked. It was one of those shows, it was one of those episodes where like it's making a commentary about here and now, and it's like not a good show. They're not good shows. They're just, and the way that they ended with like the season 1 finale of like the series of like the theme song was so peak, and Cricket being like, this is terrible. Oh, Awful Lawful was about the laws. I thought that was really funny. And Unplanned, I didn't expect it, but I do think this is a really important kind of episode to have. There's an episode of America's Ladybug, and I'm going to talk about this a little bit, but when Unplanned came up, I was like, oh no, this is genuinely like a really big deal. Like this is a thing that a lot of kids might have, and the fact that like our main character Cricket was an unplanned baby doesn't mean that we love him any less, but it's just like we need him to make his own choices. I do think that's just like he's a minor, but it's just like, oh no, he's gonna come back, right? He's not just gonna go off into the circus and the show is gonna be completely different. But I really liked how they handled that. I was a planned child. I was like, from what I know, I was a planned child, and I had a lot of fun with that. Let's see here. After that was Murderbot. Oh my god. Murderbot is based on a book series. It's a live action. Alexander Skarsgård is like the main character, who's a robot that wants to kill all humans, but also is just like, maybe tomorrow. It's not really the right time right now. It's so funny. I've heard that the books are like far more ace than and far more like gender non-conforming than what the show presents. But you know what? It's fine. The show does interesting stuff. It really makes it feel like a different world. Deadeye from Joyride was here, and I did not expect their actor to be there. But overall, I thought that the season was decent. But the finale was great. In how they wrap it up. I don't know if it's green for season 2, but I would not be surprised. X-Men 97. So X-Men 97, so back when there were only a few animated shows. I think I talked about Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man in the last live stream. But when I was doing Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, I was just like, I think I talked about how I was trying to get into Marvel through their animation, but the only thing they had was What If at the time, and I was like, I am not watching What If. They had Moon Girl, which I did watch, but this wasn't like there wasn't like a Disney Plus specific show. So then other animated shows came out and were starting to come out, like X-Men 97, Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. Like, they were really good. So before Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man started, I watched X-Men 97 episode 1. I watched part of it, and I immediately got lost. Because there's so many characters and there's so many people. It's just like so confusing. But I was like, after Friday the Spider-Man, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to give this a fair shot. I'm going to give this a fair shot. I think it's good. I think it's really good. I think that there are a couple of episodes that I thought were a less good than I wanted. Like season 1, episode 3, with the clone reveal of what's her face. Jean Grey, sorry, I forgot her name. I remembered now. Motendo Life Death Part 1 was not my favorite. And Life Death Part 2 was okay. But every other episode of the season I really enjoyed. I think especially like obviously episode 5, remember it, with what's his name? There's so many people. Gamble. That's probably wrong, but Gamble Death was really fun. I do really like Nightcrawler. I've heard of the term Nightcrawler, but I've never seen like what a Nightcrawler is. So watching it for the first time, I was like, oh my god, this is an incredible character. And I was having so much fun. And the 3-part finale was actually very good. I will say that I heard about the showrunner and one of the head writers at the time, and the bad stuff that he did to production crew, and just like things that he made people uncomfortable with. I will acknowledge that the writing is good, and the writing and the show is actually good, and the what the animation team has done is really great. It's just that like the finale is just that like that's something that should not be tolerated, and I'm very happy that based on what we know about like him making production crew uncomfortable, I am very happy that they made the choice to let them go. If there turns out to be more information, that's fine. That's new information brought to light, but based on the information we know, that was a pretty good decision. I'm still excited for season 2. and I'm still excited for more to come. I think season 2 is coming out in the summer, and then Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man is in the fall. So lots to look forward to there. Eyes of Wakanda. This was I did not watch Black Panther. I was gonna watch Black Panther because I wanted to watch this. But I feel like I got the general vibe of what Black Panther is just from this. I think all of these episodes were pretty good. I personally really liked episode 3 a lot, just because like episode 3, I feel like Marvel often takes itself too seriously. Hold on. I feel like Marvel takes itself too seriously, and so I felt like episode 1 and 2 were like really dramatic for good reason, but episode 3 was one that like merged together comedy and action and drama very well, in a way that I don't think I've been more impressed with a Marvel show before. But yeah, Eyes of Wakanda was pretty good. I don't know if I'd watch more. I don't think there will be more, but I am very satisfied with what we got. Greg and the Creek season 5. So this was a interesting season because it was very short compared to the others. They have 2 episodes which are double length, with the War of the Pieces and the Heart of the Forest. And overall, I thought the season was good. I thought it was doing a lot of really fun stuff. I thought that it was like trying to bring together the Heart of the Forest arc to a really neat conclusion. I do think the Maya drama was a bit like forced, but that's kind of the point. And I do like how the finale brought everything together, especially revealing the fact that like what Craig wants to wish for, that Kelsey and JP were like not aware of. And I do like how Craig lost his map, and he kind of like the conclusion is that Craig was wrong, and that Craig cannot hold on to change. And it's a very amphibious sort of note to end on. It's like very pathosy and cathartic, and it was really good. It was really good. Let's see. Dandadan season 2. Season 1 was really fun. I had a lot of fun with it. I think that there was just a lot of really interesting ideas that season 1 had, especially episode 7, A Kinder World, with the dance and everything, with a Silky Acrobat. That was really cool. It's kind of uncomfortable at times because it's just like it's kind of uncomfortable at times because there's a lot of like women nudity and things like that, but it's just like it's showing it as wrong even if they are doing it a lot. It's also just a very shonen kind of thing. I am not like endorsing it or anything. I'm not like saying it's good to keep going. I'm just saying that like this is something that is very typical somehow the shonen genre, and while I am not endorsing it, I do think Dandadan is very good. I was frustrated in the last 2 episodes of season 1 that like they just introduced Gigi and then left it on a big cliffhanger. And then the first 4 episodes of season 2 were really fun. I do like how everything was kind of coming together in a way that I don't think season 1 did. But they kind of did the same thing with introducing a random character at the end with what's his face? Kinta. Introducing Kinta, like that's such a weird thing. But I do really like the relationship between Gigi and the Evil Eye. I think that episode 2 was one of the best episodes, just because like the backstory of the Evil Eye was something that I never really considered. I also like how they just kind of brute force their way into stopping the Evil Eye from just like Negi, just like making fun of the evil eye until he stopped. It was so funny. But yeah, season 2 good. Severance season 2. I had a lot of fun with this. Why did I really like season 2 episode 2? Oh, it's because so season 2 episode 1 establishes a lot of things based on the season 1 finale, and season 2 episode 2 like puts things into perspective based on the information from season 1, from episode 1. Also, episode 2 has Britt Lauer giving the performance of a lifetime as Helena Egan, which is the best performance of an actor that I have seen all year. Oh my god, I gotta give her all her flowers. She was incredible. Oh god, episode 2 is so good. I do love the continuation of like, oh, which one's which one's which. Episode 4 was nuts, with like Irving's death and like the reveal that it's actually Helena and not Helly. Episode 7 with Mark's backstory and where his wife actually is. Great episode. And then the like season 2 finale. Oh, Severance is so good, you guys. Severance is so good. I'm just like, yeah, it was amazing. It's really great. It's really hard for me to articulate why, but oh my god, the season was just so good. I'm so excited for season 3. You have no idea. You probably do, but oh my god, best. I still think that the season 1 finale was the better finale, but oh my god, the season 2 finale was so good. Oh, Severance. I love you, Severance. Sakamoto Days. So this aired in 2 cores. The first core was the first 11 episodes, and that was actually pretty fun. It focused a lot on our characters and their personal stuff. We did have like a mini arc there where we got more into Shin's backstory, which was cool. We had a couple of episodes where we got into what's her face? What's her name? Lu Xiaotang, which was so good. All Aboard episode 9 was one of my favorites. And at the end of episode 11, it's like, oh, we're introducing these characters who are gonna kill our protagonist. And it's like, okay, now we have a hiatus, we come back, and 2 episodes later, 3 out of 4 of them are dead. It's just like, wait, what? It's like, no, you fool. They were a distraction, a red herring. And it was really fun. I do really like Slur. Why does he just look like Lu Guang from Link Click? Like, why is he here? Why is he here? They have to have a tournament arc, which, like, sure, why not? I don't like that they took some of the really fun characters from the like tournament arc, and now they're evil. Why is Sakamoto dressed like a woman by the end of the show? I am very confused, but you know what? That's fine. I do like how in the beginning they had him like having like turning from fat to slim and then fat again. And it's just like, oh, he needs to turn slim because he can't fight when he can't fight his full potential when he's fat. But then it's like, no, this is a lesson he has to learn, which is something that just as like someone who is fat, having a story that like goes into a narrative that is very heavily like focused on a fat character, it's very easy for this character, it's very easy for the show to like say, oh, their fatness was wrong, or like them being big is a issue, or things like that. It can very easily go down like fat phobic territory. But the fact that this was like very pleasant with how it was like something I did not expect. So I enjoyed it a lot. The summer Hikaru died. Oh boy. Speaking of, I need to get some of my tea. So I started the first chapter of this manga like years ago. I don't remember when, but it was definitely a couple of years ago. And when I started this, I was like, I thought it was just like a regular BL, and then it got into like eldritch horror, and I was like, nope. We'll get into like some more horror stuff at the end of the video. I will discuss this a bit more when it comes to, you'll see. So I thought that this was actually an incredible like adaptation of an anime, and like I mean, obviously Netflix is like in partnership with this. Like Netflix usually just picks up like distributions for certain animes. Like they weren't. I don't think they were part of the production process for like Orb or Frieren, but they have both. They have both on their platform. But this one is like, no, this is like specifically an anime that Netflix is like helping out or in charge of. And I really like that. I do really I one of my friends has a hamster, and I recommended this channel. I recommended this to them. I was like, all you need to watch this show for is the hamster. If you enjoy the rest of the show, that's fine. But the only thing that I'm recommending the show to you for is this hamster. And they're like, okay. And then they watched it. They're like, oh, this is a good show. But the hamster, though, I'm like, I knew it. I knew it. I think that season 1 episode 3 was really good. I do like how at the end of the episode, what's his face? Yoshiki is just like, oh, this isn't Hikaru. I've been acting as if this is Hikaru, but it's not. This is like a baby, a naive person, basically. And even though it's a powerful person, they're still very naive. I also really liked season 1 episode 7, because that's the one where like Yoshiki tries to stab Yoshiki tries to stab Hikaru, and it was so good. Episode 2 had the moment where like he's putting his hand into he puts Yoshiki's hand into his chest, and that was so fun. I think that the plot starts getting good in the second half, but for the most part, it's just like, yep, that summer Hikaru died, and it's just like a big mystery of like how of like the eldritchness combined together with the like intersection of the narrative, and just like the the very clear yaoi and homoerotic, and not homoerotic because they're minors, homo romantic tension between them in this very like weird way. It's so fun and funny. Solar Opposites season 5. I was starting to get burnt out this season on Solar Opposites, because I was like, oh my god, Solar Opposites is just more of what it is, and I'm not the biggest fan of Solar Opposites anymore. I was never really the biggest fan, but just the fact of like I was enjoying every season and I was enjoying it. But as soon as I started watching Solar Opposites, I'm like, oh my god, this is like a comedy that nothing progresses, and any progression gets immediately undone. So why am I watching this? It's feeling really fun, but also at the same time, I just cannot continue with this. There were some episodes I really liked. I liked season 5 episode. I didn't watch season 5 episode 1 this year. I think I watched that last year. Because I started watching it and I was like, no, this is too much. I need to take a break. And then when I came back to it, I started with episode 2. So season 5, episode 2, The Neverending Honeymoon, was one thing that I did not expect. It's so fun. It's just such a fun episode. I really liked season 5, episode 6, the sci-fi rollerblades. That's the one where like Corvo is having this plot with his dad, where like Yamulak and Jesse are with another kid's son, and they're like, no, they beat us up, and then they get so like they get so into each other doing their Looney Tunes plots that it turns out no, they did not beat each other up. They were just trolling so they could get truck tickets. And yeah, it was cool. The what if device was fine. I do like the revelation of the actual commander not being Corvo, but aside from that, it was okay. Season 5 finale was was it season 5? No. Season 5 episode 10, where like they put the wall plot progressing. That was fine. I did enjoy that quite a bit. But I was just kind of burnt out by this point, and then I immediately started seeing season 6. But we will get to that. My Dress Up Darling season 2. Oh my god. So I saw My Dress Up Darling season 1, and I thought it was really nice. My Dress Up Darling season 1 was, for the most part, pretty good. There were a couple of things in here where I'm like, oh, this is going a bit too far. But it's like an ecchi show, so you can't really like avoid it, if I'm being honest. But when season 2 started, the first 6 episodes are like peak television. I have never like they're so tightly knit together in a way that I read the manga as soon as season 1. I finished watching season 1. And the one thing that I was really excited for was the school cosplay arc. There was also other things about like the discussion of gender and cosplay, but like the school cosplay arc is the best arc of the whole show. And when we got there, I was like, oh, this is such a good arc. This is so good. And then I watched it, and then I it was genuinely some of the best episodes of the whole show. The second half wasn't the best because it was like the horror stuff and just like the miscommunication, and that got dragged out. But that's how it was in the manga as well, so I can't really blame the anime for that. But overall, yeah, it was fine. Hazbin Hotel season 2. Oh boy. Okay. So overall, I'm gonna say the songs of Hazbin Hotel season 2, they had higher highs and lower lows, but they were less consistent. There were some really amazing songs here that which we'll get into, but overall on season 2, I think that a lot of these episodes were not great. I think it's very different from season 1 based on the structure that it was in, because season 1 structure was like, oh, this is the adventure of the day with the hotel, or like a different part of the hotel with hell, and it was pretty good. But this they switched gears because of the importance that they had to give for the V's. I think the episodes that were pretty good were episode 2, episode 6, episode 7, and episode 8. Episode 4, I'm like on the fence about adding that because it has one really incredible moment, which is the fight between the V. No, I'm gonna add episode 4 in there because like Alistair's whole thing in that episode's great, even if I'm not a big fan of the Charlie propaganda plot thing. But the season was fine. Overall, I think that they lose it quite a bit. I especially I think episode 3 is a big culprit here, because it's just like spending so much time when we're like, no, Vox is not a good actor. The show has made this very clear here, and we're just doing things that Charlie is like spiraling about, rather than like actually making interesting character dynamics. Episode 5, the animation episode 5 was really good. My issue with episode 5 is that it introduces an idiot plot, which is like, there's one thing that the characters could do to say, hey, we can change so much of this. Like, the whole thing about Vox's ploy in season 2 was the fact that like the platform that he has is just a like, oh, Charlie's lying about the hotel. What is she saying is not real? What proof does she have that get to heaven? And the thing about Vox doing that is just the fact that like it's just the fact of like, in episode 5, when the angels come and talk to Vox for the first time, they could easily say, hey, Pentious is in heaven, we can confirm this, and just wrap it up there. But they don't say it at all. They don't say Pentious is alive for some reason, because the rules of heaven are so weird and like not clarified at all. So it's really confusing. So when I was like looking for when I was like going through it, I was like, this is the most irritating part of the whole season. The fact that they could have said, hey, Pentious is alive. It wouldn't have done much, but it would have done something. But like, they had to do that, because if they didn't, then if they didn't do that in episode 5, then they couldn't have the big final confrontation, because like people would start doubting Vox, and Vox wouldn't be seen as big of a threat by the finale. Alistair's plan wouldn't have worked, because Charlie wouldn't have feel his corner to do the favor for Alistair. We couldn't have had the fight with Alistair and Vox in the finale, and just a lot of things just wouldn't have happened if Vox didn't have that platform to stand on. So yeah, that's my frustration. But aside from that, I thought that the show was not as good from season 1. So I'm just gonna talk about the songs, honestly. Has Been Guaranteed is really good. Want to Get Up There, that's one of my favorites. Christian Borle is just doing a lot of like really amazing work in like songs and voice acting this season. Like You, I did not enjoy. I think that the visuals are funnier than the actual song themselves. Sarah's Confession, when the first 2 episodes dropped, this was like my song. I was like, oh, this is so soothing and calm. I do think that the show is trying to like it feels like the show was trying to like be like, oh my god, she's not evil, she's just tortured, she just happened to kill people in a thing. But the main thing that I kind of talk about a bit is just the fact that like this extermination thing was actually Adam's idea. And the fact of like Sarah was there being like, oh, I agree to this, because she's kind of othered the people of hell in her mind. But when Pentious gets redeemed, that othering kind of goes away, because she's like, oh shoot, I've just been like seeing them as the bad guys, I have to like re-examine this, oh no, and just like trying to take accountability for what she's done, which I think is fairly good. I will say that the way that the show does it is a bit off to me, but overall I think that I see where they were going, even if they didn't quite stick the landing. Gravity was really good. Pistol Love Song was really good. Speedrun to Redemption was bad. Don't You Forget, that was kind of forgettable for me. Clean It Up Clean It Up was so weird. I love that the Kimiko Glenn got to do an anime song. Is she Japanese? I don't know if she is, but oh my god, it's so funny that she got to do a Japanese anime song. Oh. Don't you forget Reprise. Actually, I really like that one. Bad With Us. The montage part was really cool. And the way that like the genre switch with the montage. Vox Populi and Vox Day, I was not a fan of. I'm like not into Vox, so the fact that he has so many songs this season is like not good. I like his relationships with the V's, so that's why I like Once We Get Up There, but his songs alone I'm not a fan of. Love in a Bottle was Husk's song, and that was actually pretty fun. But my favorite songs of this season are both together, and those are Losing Streak and Easy. Losing Streak is my favorite one because oh my god, there's something so hypnotic about the way that Blake Roman sings this song. It's one of my favorites of the entire season. I've been listening to it over and over again. I think it's going to be taken into a lot of stats for my end of year wrapped, but oh my god, so good. Easy was really fun. I do like how it's a like song that is two queer women saying like this is never, I don't think this has happened before in Western animation, but I really liked it. Brighter I didn't care about. Live to Live was fine. It's not my favorite, but I do really like the way it went. When I think about the future, it's kind of like this amalgamation song of like, okay, we're wrapping up the whole show. We are like bringing everything to a head in this finale, so brace yourselves. And then Hear My Hope, I think, was overall very good. My only issue with Hear My Hope was the Abel part. I don't hate it. I think objectively the song is good. My issue with this is that Abel was not developed enough. So it feels like, why are we doing all of an entire season's worth of progression in 1 minute in a way where like for the most of the season he's just kind of been standing there? And that's kind of true for most of the characters. Like Angel Dust is just kind of there until and they have to save them in episode 8, or like when we meet him in Losing Streak, and also like what are the characters there? Oh god. Alistair is just kind of like wrapped up on a bench somewhere, and that's kind of it. There's so many characters that are just on the sideline for no reason, and Baxter not even being a character and just like a reason for why the finale has to work the way it does was not fun. But aside from that, I think that for the most part the show did a decent job of making a sequel. I don't think it's the same as season 1. I think this was a decent season 2. I don't think it's a continuation of season 1. It's very different from season 1, which is fine. I am starting to lose steam here, but I'm starting to lose steam here, but we are almost done with the seasons that I finished. So let's keep going. Fragrant Flower Blooms with Dignity. This was a fun one. I even though I'm not interested in romance, I love seeing other people's romance, and so I'm nosy like that. And when it's a good, compelling romance, I really like it. So I watched the first couple of episodes, and then I watched the dub as it was coming on Netflix, and oh, so good. The thing about Fragrant Flower Blooms with Dignity that I don't think I've ever seen before is that this is the most sincere story of television that I've ever seen. It's not even like, because like a lot of times it's like, oh, a mix of jokes and sincerity. This one is just like pure sincerity in a way that is extremely engaging. And it's not only like sincere between the main character love interests, but it's just like everyone is sincere with everyone. Everyone is trying to do their best and trying to do what they think is best and trying to work with the best information they have. And they grow and they change and they become new people. And the sincerity of the entire show and the entire story is one of my favorite parts. I'm probably gonna make a video about this, explain this in better detail, but oh, so good, so good. Pokemon Concierge Part 2 came out, which was the last 4 episodes. There were a couple of ones that I did enjoy, but I think episode 6 and episode 8 were my favorites. Episode 6 was Tyler's Uncle Dan and his Celio. That such a good episode. Oh my god. And like it's kind of the like unwilling abandonment of a Pokemon. The Pokemon anime kind of had this a couple of times with like Ash's Charizard and Ash's Tepig, and that was really cool. But the finale as well, which is like Haru and her ex-boyfriend, the one that she came to this island to get away from. So good, so good. I really like Pokemon Concierge. We need more slice of life stories in animation. They are literally the best, especially if it's a Western animated. Like, please give us more Western animated sci-fi, Western animated slice of life stories. They're so good. They are so good. I know this is technically Japanese, but I need more. Leviathan. Oh God, Leviathan. There was a lot of really high expectations for this because Netflix was in charge of it, and it was Studio Orange who did Trigun Stampede, and it's just like really exciting that a 3D show is coming out. I did not enjoy this. I think there are parts of it which are nice. I think Sharp is a really compelling character. I think Alex is a really interesting foil. That is literally it. I do like the World War stuff. There's interesting commentary. They go to Istanbul for a bit, which is fun. But overall, I just there's something lost in adaptation here, and I don't know what it is. But I would need to read the Leviathan books to figure out what it was. I will say the best part of the show is the music. Joe Hisaishi kills it in this one. He did the Ghibli movies, like the track for the Ghibli movie, so of course it's gonna be great. But yeah, that's all I really have to say about Leviathan. I don't really want to get into this anymore. Let's see. I'm just checking the best episode on Serial. Episode 8? I mean, sure. Yeah, I don't really have anything else to say aside from that. Splinter Cell Death Watch. Ooh, this is a fun one. So I have no idea what Splinter Cell is. I believe it is a sort of stealth game. That is all I know, and they do pretty well at exploring stealth. I did really like how compelling the main characters were. I think that there was like a lot of really interesting stuff, a lot of really fun action. My only issue with the show is how much things happen that progress things very little. That is the thing that is like a paradox about it, that like so much is happening in this season that like seems important, but barely anything progresses forward in points in time. There's only really one moment that really progresses it, and that's it. And that's like in episode 5. And then it just kind of feels like, oh, welcome to the finale. But yeah, no, I did like the finale. I did think it was a really like pathosy kind of ending of like, oh no, that's so sad. But they did their job pretty well. The Mighty Nine. Ooh, I have thoughts. There are some thoughts that I have about this. But I personally really like this season. I really like this show. I think it's great. For me, episode 3, episode 5, and episode 8 are the best episodes of the whole show. I think episode 5 is the most obvious because it's just like Caleb's backstory. Episode 3, I love it because it's just like the way that the characters are maneuvering around this area, while we, the audience, are like stuck in our heads about like, oh, they need to meet, and just like how they introduce themselves. It's and how like we're maneuvering around this one area and this one location so much that it so good, so good. I have a video that's coming up at some point with more thoughts on this, so stay tuned. Wolf King season 2. Oh, I was just in a good mood. I think that there's something, and much like Leviathan, I feel like there's something very lost in translation about this show, because it feels like they're trying to go for this grand adventure show, but the tone and the tone armor that our characters have just doesn't match up with it. Like, oh, they get shot, okay, they are not gonna be dead. Just things like that of like, it doesn't make much sense to me, and also it doesn't make it feel like really scary. Also, the fact that like Netflix adapted 2 seasons of this, and Netflix adapted 2 seasons of this, and there are 6 werewolf books, is just like, okay, this is not the final season. I mean, this is the final season, but it's not the end of the story, you know? It's not an epic conclusion. I think that there are some. I think the end of episode 3 was one that I was really compelled by. And then the season 2 finale was the best episode of the show, but also one episode that I did not care for. I feel really bad because this is Jellyfish's last production before they closed down, like the last TV show they did before they closed down, and I did not like it. But you know what? I am done with Wolf King. I do not need to watch anymore. It's over. It's over. There's nothing more that they can do to make me watch, and I am okay with that. Fiona and Cake season 2. God, this is gonna be controversial. So Fiona and Cake season 2, I actually think is very good. The only issue with Fiona and Cake season 2 is that there is like a section right in the middle between episodes 3 to 5 where it feels like it's slogging and we're not sure the direction of what's happening anymore. And I feel like those 3 episodes do so much damage to the entire season. I don't think it's any one thing that I can point to in particular. It's just like Fiona and Cake's trying to be very ambitious with a lot of things. So they're kind of like trying to have this like adventure timey story. They're trying to have this kind of like adventure timey sort of story that is like of the weird world of Ooh, while also having this sort of slice of life story with Fiona and Cake in Fiona world. And they're trying to balance the two, and sometimes it doesn't come across very well. A lot of people are saying that they hate the romance drama between DJ Flame and Fiona, but if I'm being honest, I was into it. Like, not the cheating stuff. That was one that the cheating part I did not enjoy. But aside from that, I was like, no, this like Fiona is a mess, and we are allowed, and women are allowed to be messes too. Fiona is like the best equivalent of a girl failure, and I absolutely love that. She just makes so many mistakes. It's so funny. I think Huntress Wizard is like. I think the Huntress Wizard arc was the best one, but I definitely feel like, and I think that like episodes 3 to 5, where Huntress Wizard was like a plant and we couldn't do anything there, combined together with like the DJ Flame plot, it's just like, what's going on here? I'm so confused. And Marshall's plot, Gary's plot, like they all come together very nicely. The finale, I'm not gonna say it was rushed. I don't think it was. I think it was fast. I don't think it was rushed because a couple of complaints is just like, oh, Gary forgived her too easily, Marshall forgave her too easily. It's like, Gary can't be mad at Fiona for long. Like, that's just who Gary is, and that's just how their relationship is. And Marshall is like upset, but he cares more about what Gary feels, you know. So I feel like the justification is there. It's just been so long since season one that we can't really remember like Gary's like relationship to Fiona and how he feels about Fiona over what she did at the end of episode 8, which, God, that was such a, I couldn't watch that. I was like, oh god, this is the worst crash out of an animated character I've seen in a while. And I watched She-Ra. But I really enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun. My favorite episodes, episode 2 was my favorite. Because I was like, oh, because the like fight between the druid fight and things like that. I think this was around the time where like Fiona and Hunter were like getting into each other, and also Mcron and Cake were like into each other kind of, and it was like progressing pretty nicely. But I loved, similar to like Hilda season 3, there was this one creature of the heart of the forest that the way, the sound design, the weight of the creature, the way that the creature carried itself was so beautiful. Oh my god, there's even a montage at the beginning of the episode where like Huntress Wizard is becoming Huntress Wizard. They're just an orphan and then they become Huntress Wizard. It's so good. It's so good. I did really like season 2 episode 6 because we kept seeing Finn dying. Like he had such a massive plot armor in season 2 episode 6 in the entirety of the main Adventure Time series, that seeing him like dying over and over again without it being permanent was so like engaging and like so cathartic in a way, even, and like horrifying as well, because like we've spent like 10 seasons with this guy, why are we seeing him like dying over and over again? But it's also just like, yeah, no, he's too good of an adventurer, but also he's too good of an adventurer. So I really enjoyed that one. I did not expect cosmic owl lore in the year of our Lord 2025, you know, like this is kind of what I mean, where like the cold opens of the season are just like so random and weird that it kind of lacks any sort of direction of what's gonna happen in the season, because it just like kept jumping and jumping, which is kind of Adventure Time, but also it's not. I just had such an odd time with this. I also really loved season 2 episode 9. I think that was the best. Though 2 and 9 are like my favorite episodes. 6 and 7. 6, 7. Ugh, I can't believe I got that on. That's gonna haunt me forever. But episode 6 and episode 7 were like the episodes that I thought I had the most fun with. I think that episode 6 is more objectively good than episode 7, but so great. Solar Opposite season 6. Oh, I don't like this. Solar Opposites season 6. This was a fine season. It was okay. I like, kind of like what I said about season 5. I just felt burnt out by this point. Episode 3, the sci-fi slingshot, was a really funny one. Episode 6, maturity points, was fine. Episode 8, last flight of Ariana, I did not enjoy that. I just felt like too typical of a story. The only joke I did laugh at was what's it called? The only joke I did laugh at was there's this one character who just writes on a paper and then shows what he's written to communicate, because he's taking a vow of silence, and then they say it's like that kid from Little Miss Sunshine very quickly. And I saw that film and I've been thinking about watching it for the longest time, so I'm glad I watched that film before I watched the show. Watched that episode, and it's like one of the few references that I actually understood from Solar Opposites Rick and Morty. Yeah. The season 6 the series finale was doing all right. I did not expect them to bring back a lot of the characters that or like a lot of the plot threads that we did not resolve, like the Red Goobler, but and also the reveal of like, oh my god, we're actually you're not actually meant to do this mission. It was really fun. But yeah, I'm kind of done. Star Wars Visions. Oh, I love me some Star Wars Visions. Star Wars Visions is so fun. It's just anthology series, short stories. I think I talked about Secret Level and Love, Death, and Robots in the last video. But animated anthologies are really fun. Just when it's not trying to replicate heavy metal. So Volume 3 came out, and there's some fun stuff that was here. The duel, I did not, there are 2 sequel episodes, there are 3 sequel episodes this season, this volume. Episode 1, The Duel, is a sequel to The Duel in Volume 1. Episode 3, The Ninth Jedi, is a sequel to The Ninth Jedi in Volume 1. And The Lost Ones is the sequel to The Village Bride. Well, not exactly a sequel, it's about different characters, but like, there's one character who appears in The Village Bride that reoccurs back in The Lost Ones. Overall, I liked this season a lot. I think that, how do I say it? Volume 1 felt like, hey, here are some Star Wars stories that are anime-ified, and that was cool. Like, I think the Twins is like an example of this, where like they are it's a very anime sort of like episode where it's just like, oh, doing stuff, but it's a very anime sort of thing to have this sort of like twins and like these dynamic, and Trigger anime in that episode just makes it go much more anime. Volume 2 felt more like, these are stories that just so happen to be Star Wars. So like Screecher's Reach, Owl's Song. What else was in Volume 2? I really liked Volume 2, and I remember that a lot because it's like Sith is also one of them. The Spy Dancer, like so many of these episodes are just like, here's a story that we have put into the Star Wars sort of flavor, and I think that's fine. But I felt like Volume 3 was like, this is specifically a story about Star Wars. So like my favorites were The Ninth Jedi. I really like the Bounty Hunters. I love the Yuko's Treasure. The Lost Ones was really good. And yeah, that's kind of what I really liked from this season. There's one kind of criticism that I have, which is the Volume 3 finale, which was Season 3, Episode 9, Black. I did really like the artsy stuff, but it was so visually noisy and confusing that I could not understand anything that was going on. I think it's meant to like make this surreal effect to feel like a dream, but honestly it was so confusing. I was like, what am I watching? What's going on? And I kind of think that's intentional, but also at the same time, like readability to me is far more important than beautiful like artwork. So like it was very unreadable, but it was very pretty, I will say that. So that's why, like, for me, Black isn't on like the top of my episode rankings for Star Wars Visions. And then finally, the last season I finished, Bluey Season 1. So I really like Bluey. Bluey's a really great show. It gets into a lot of like heavy themes that I never thought I would like engage with on a pre-K level. Like, this is the only pre-K show that I actively watch, enjoy, and recommend to other people. It's genuinely great. So I started watching a lot of Bluey. I got up to like episode 12 or something with Bluey, and then I kind of had to take a break for a bit. But there's some really good and fun episodes that I really enjoyed. Episode 14, Takeaway, where they're trying to deal with takeaway stuff, was really fun, was really cute, because it's just like they're doing random stuff outside of the outside of the like takeaway place and just doing shenanigans. Yoga Ball was really a nice understanding of boundaries, especially with a parent. um what else? Blue Mountains is like one of the more like artsy episodes. I know there are more artsy ones later, but like the way they go about it is just so fun. uh let's see. The beach was really sweet. I think the like Bluey wanting to talk to her mom, but she has to like get through like these small things that feel big when you're that small is really a lot. Um and just the fact that Chili was taking a very long like Bluey's so good, you guys. Um let's see. Fairies was chaotic. I did not expect fairies to be that chaotic. Um, the dump was really sweet. Uh, Copycat. I think Copycat's the best episode of the whole season. I don't know if that's a hot take or not, but oh my god, like Copycat just the thing about Copycat that I really like is that the first half is Bandit, like them, they start off with like, oh, copying me, and then Bandit's like, oh no, stop the game, like we need to take care of this bird, and then there's like little actions that they do to do it, and then immediately like after like to process through her feelings, Bluey has to replicate going through it as if she's the one who is experiencing this. And it's such a good episode that subtly tells you about like processing grief and processing like the existential question of death. And that was really sweet. Oh, I said that Copycat was the best episode, but I forgot about camping. Oh, camping's so good, you guys. And you'll hear literally there's so many discussions around the episode camping that literally anything that I will say will not be new. But oh my god, this episode's so good. What else is there? Asparagus. Okay, so asparagus is like a magic, as like the Wand episode where like you're now a different animal. The only thing that like really engaged me with asparagus was how the animation and like how they contorted the character models to make them look like the characters, to make them look like the animals that they were. So like I think Chili got turned into like a rabbit at some point, and then just like had to what's it called, like had the teeth out, or like Bandit was like a ferret, and so he was like it was so good. I really enjoyed Bluey season 1. I think it's great. So even though those are the seasons that I have finished, that is not all I have watched in season in 2025. See, these are the seasons that I've finished, but there are shows that I've watched that I have not wrapped up yet, because either I've not finished it, or I either I've not finished in 2025, or I put it on pause. So we're gonna go through those really quickly. Jujutsu Kaisen. So I saw the first 3 episodes of the show. It was kind of slow, and also, but the action was really good. But I was just like, no, I need to, like, this show's trying to take its time, and this feels like a bingeable kind of show. I do enjoy Gojo and what's his face, the sad guy, the one who looks like the other sad guy from Chainsaw Man, not the one with the black hair. I I like them. I also like the main protagonist. He's fun. The girl who's also there, and yes, I say the girl because she is the girl in episode 3. Stugo. This was the student government one that came out on Disney Channel earlier this year. It's canceled by now. But I saw the first episode, thought it was fine. Had literally no other thoughts other than that. Miraculous Ladybug season 6. So Ladybug came out and it was really fun. The thing about Ladybug that kind of is just there. Ooh, I am feeling tired, but I want to finish this because I want to do other stuff. We will get to it. We will get to it soon. Season 5 was the best season, and then season 6 they changed the animation style because they had to change the art style, because they had to change the engine that they were working with, so they were redoing entire models, and honestly all of these models look really good. Only one that doesn't look great is Adrian, which is really sad because he's supposed to be the love interest, but maybe he'll get a makeover soon. I think there's some really amazing episodes here, but there are also some episodes that I'm like, okay, these are fine. A couple of episodes that I really loved, Where Papa's. I think that the secret of Gabriel being Hawk Monarch and like keeping that from Adrian is, I don't agree with it. But in Mr. Gress, Meredith's like, no, we should tell him. And then she's like under pressure from like Natalie and everyone else to keep the secret. And the only person she can confide to is Natalie, who like is also compromised. So I don't blame her necessarily. But Where Papa's I really liked. Revelator was pretty good. Climatic Queen was really nice. El Toro de Piedra. The Ruler. The Ruler is one of those episodes where like, it's an important episode for people to have, where like the allegory of homophobia in comics against like this very queer relationship is something important, because it's just like, oh, this is a character or like a story that that people who actively avoid these kind of stories don't just watch them, you know. These kind of stories are just kind of ignored for the sake of like being these kind of stories are like kind of ignored because it is very difficult for someone to watch. But to have it in a show like Ladybug, which is like a wide various audience, and these like queer progressive themes, like, oh, so good. Mr. Gress was really great. Yaxi Gozen was also one of the best episodes of the season. I just think that the show is very successful at what it's doing. I've only seen the ones in the English dub right now, which is half of the season. So the ones that I haven't seen are 616, 608, and 614. Even if I have a vague understanding of what happens, I haven't seen these episodes yet. But yeah, no, I think season 6 is looks better and is better animated than the rest of the show. People just need to like calm down on the fact of like, they're releasing the episodes. They have no control over when these episodes are getting released. They literally have no control over when or why these episodes are getting released. It's not up to the crew, it's up to the broadcasters who have the episodes done and get them ready for distribution. So yeah, the season was overall pretty good. I just think that there's just a lot of stuff. Sign of Affection episodes 1 to 2. This is an anime. It's with the deaf girl and the barista multilingual guy. I've only seen the first 2 episodes, but I'm really enjoying it. This is one of the few animes that I'm actually watching the sub for, because I heard that the dub isn't a good translation. It gets a lot of things missing and like loses a lot of context, and that's fair enough. But I was really starting to lose steam with like the sub at some point because I was like, "Ugh, I process things so much better with dub. I don't know what it is with my brain, but if it's not a language that I'm familiar with from childhood, like Hindi or English or maybe Spanish, then it's very difficult for me to be okay with subs. The only exception to that is if the lip movement. Whoa. The only exception to that is if the lip. The only exception to that is if the lip movements don't match together. To what's it called? If the lip movements don't match with the with the live action actors, because animation they make the mouth shapes in a way where like it doesn't really matter what the dub is. It just kind of looks fine regardless. But when you're dubbing over live action performance, the lips are specifically formed in a way where like the characters can't, where like the actors form them in a specific way where like it feels weird, like their mouth is not moving together. So that's why animation really works a lot better with dub and sub than like for me. If it was live action, it would always be sub. If the original language was not in English, I would always go sub because the risk of the dub not matching the lips and taking me out of the scene is far more likely with live action. But I did enjoy Sign of Affection. I'm waiting for. I'm gonna catch up with it at some point, but I just need time. KIF season 2. So I caught up with so much of KIF. I think I said I caught up with the last 11 episodes of season 1. So I actually started season 2 with everyone else pretty much when it came out. Let me check KIF. KIF. Da da da. Let me see what was in season 2 because I can't remember. KIF has to sneeze was so funny. Haley was really fun. Just the fact that like a tail was fighting for student president against a teacher. That's so odd. But it was fine. Let's see here. Rotten Banana, voiced by Michaela Deeds, is like the weirdest thing that KIF could do, but also it's just like the most KIF thing KIF could do. So I don't blame her. OTDR was so funny. It's like, oh, is everyone ready? No? Okay, I'm gonna like go and do something. It's like, okay, and then they come and it's like, and they go, and then someone else comes like, oh, are they ready? Okay, I'm gonna do something. They go, come back. It's like no one's ready on time, and the subversion at the end being like, they didn't have the tickets is the best part. Mystery Spell. Oh, I really liked Mystery Spell. Because it's just like what was the spell that Helen cast on them? It's so, and there were a couple of angles that were I was like, oh, this is weird. Why are they angled this way? Hold on one second. It's just like, why are they angled this way? I'm like, okay, they have to tell us what the mystery spell was. And the reveal that like they just swap their tails was such a good one. And then if you go back through the episode, it's just like, oh, they like lost this. They didn't pay attention. Like the mystery spell is like right there. Like so many times we either don't see their tails or like they're angled in such a way where we get the illusion of their tails being normal, like on the doctor's chair. Oh, so funny. Let me see. Sorry, just grabbing. It's hard to navigate through so many seasons at once. But you know, uh, with Larry, Dinner with Darren, Spoiled Again. Oh, this is so good. The one that was like, hey, I'm reading the book before I'm watching the show, but I'm reading the book. Oh my god, the book is so much better. And then it's like viewership numbers tanked because everyone's trying to read the entire series in time. It was so good. This is like, I think this is one of my favorite episodes of the whole season. Not the best episode, not the top episode, but it's one of. Rock Kick was also amazing. Tower on Trevor, Friends Online. Wait. No, Tower on Trevor was the best one. Yeah, Tower on Trevor. I did not particularly love yeah, Tower and Trevor was the best one. I really enjoyed that. Especially because the like tower becomes sentient. That's like a weird thing to do. But oh my god, it's so funny. And yeah, I last episode I've seen is Weird Delivery 2 Return to Pretendo Time. I have not seen anything else beyond that this year. So yeah, that's kind of all that I have to say about Gift Season 2. I think that the show is like very good. I think the show is really good. And I am excited to finish the season. Wild Pack. Oh my god. This is the best new show of the year for me, at least for children's television. Wild Pack is a Nickelodeon show and it's so good. There's like, it's like two half siblings who are together. One loves the wilderness, one loves their like city life, and the wilderness one has to stay the summer with his dad, stepmom, and half sibling. They're just like all coming together in a way that I really kind of enjoy. There's two episodes of the show that I like that are both in episode 7. Warriors Against the Realm and Sangundel. I love those two episodes, especially Sangundel. Those are the best ones. Warriors Against the Realm is just like a League of Legends like making fun of thing. It's so funny. I really liked the episode. I think it was great. I think it was funny. I think it was fun. And the grand moral of the story for Warriors Against the Realm is, hey, remember to touch some grass. Oh, it's so funny. Sakamono Days I already talked about. Phineas and Ferb. Phineas and Ferb. I caught up with the first 14 episodes. Honestly, it's fine. Nothing too revolutionary. I think the first episode is actually the best. Yeah, I think the first episode's actually the best of season 5 because it's like, oh, mom gets zapped. Let me see what other episodes were there, because I do like that Candace has her driving license now. Carl got a bit more of a focus, which is cute. Perry and Stacy, that was one thing that like I was like, oh, they introduced this at the end of in like season 4, and like now we need to follow up on it. And they had it like twice, and I wish I want to have more. The Meep episode I thought was bad. Candace suit was weird. Book Flub was the first time that Candace's busting skills were coming into play that like Linda was part of in such an interesting like direction. Um, Aside from that, I do not. Yeah, I just wish that Buford would get his Bread Bowl hot tub. I do know that's apparently happening sometime later this season, but I've only caught up to Duplicated, and I haven't caught up with any other season of the show. I haven't caught up with the rest of the episodes. So when I do, we will figure that out. The Amazing Digital Circus episodes 5 to 7. I think this is a really good year for Digital Circus. I think last year they were kind of like figuring out the show itself. I think they knew what the show was. I think it was just like not polished enough. I think these 3 episodes are like the peak of Digital Circus. Like episode 5 was amazing. Episode 5 was really nice, and really good character exploration. Episode 6 was like, it had everything. That's like where everything kind of is. You have like character moments, you have like these really this really fun action episode. Like I did an analysis live stream on there are 2 of 3 scenes that I really loved about the Amazing Digital Circus episode 6. God. And episode 7, like, what are we doing here? Like, this show is so funny and it's so weird. This show is so good. Wonderfully Weird World of Gumball. I caught up with the first 12 episodes. So far the traffic is like the best episode. I do know that there are in total 40 episodes out, with combined like the first quote unquote season and second quote unquote season of Gumball, which is actually just one order split into 2, whatever. But I really liked the traffic. I will catch up with the rest of the season eventually, but I am glad that Gumball is actually finally back. It's been like 7 years between like when the season finale, when the last episode of season 6 dropped with the acquisition, to the premiere with the burger. And it was good. It was good. The Bear season 1. I gotta drink my water for this one. So the Bear was actually a lot more tense than I realized. It was very stressful. I think it was like everyone's shouting at each other, everyone's yelling at each other. I was like, oh, I do not need this right now. So I got till episode 5 and I was like, yeah, I can't do this. So I just kind of dropped it. I do think it's a good show. I do think it's very engaging. I just cannot deal with this right now. I will catch up with it at some point. I will hold myself to that. But I genuinely am just not. I'm not in a point in my life where stress is something that I can just like, where I want to amplify my stress even more. But the episodes were good. Long story short, this is the new Netflix show by Raphael Bob Waxberg. And this was actually good. The creator of BoJack Horseman. It was good. I liked the first 2 episodes. But it was so real that it was so tense that I was like, oh, I cannot do this. Like, I physically cannot do this. So I was like, I'll come back to it later. So I watched the first 2 episodes, which were really good. I think episode 2 especially stood out to me a lot more. Kind of the same thing with Heartstopper season 2. I started watching it and I had a lot of fun with like Nick trying to come out and like feeling more comfortable. The Paris trip, his GCSEs, things like that. Yeah. The season was quite good. I just couldn't. I just really couldn't. So I caught up to the end of episode 5, and Nick is about to introduce Charlie to his dad in Paris. Elle and Tao are together finally. Ivan hasn't figured out. Ivan. Is his name Ivan? Hold on. I need to check this. Hold on, be quiet. Here, Heartstopper. Isaac, yeah. Isaac hasn't figured out he's ace yet, so that's something for later. I do like Isaac as an addition to Heartstopper, though. Like, adding in a character that doesn't need this sort of romantic element. I can kind of feel like, oh, everyone's getting paired off at some point, but yeah. Craig the Creek season 6. I caught up with the first 2 episodes, so that's Craig's house. Craig's room has gotten infested with bees, so he stays at respectively Kelsey's house, JP's house, and then Toman's house. Toman's house is the funniest one because it's just like such a random pull of a character, but also it's like it's Toman, so it's not that random. Legend of Lara Croft episodes 1 to 3. I love that they're doing the sort of like Nigerian mythology aspect. The first episode, Lara's like, oh, there's this woman who needs this relic to help change the world, and I was like, okay, Lara, you're going to regret this. And I was like, okay, she's gonna regret this in like episode 3 or episode 4. No, barely half an episode late, at the end of that same episode, barely like halfway, like barely barely any of the episode remaining, she's like, oh, I stole this and I caused the death of so many people, and now she feels guilty for this woman making a choice that she unintentionally played a part in, which is so funny. Like, I thought it would at least like stay for at least a couple episodes. No, they just immediately are like, she's gonna regret this and she needs to stop this problem that she caused. I do remember liking episode 2 a lot. That was the episode where they're trying to navigate through the church, and in is it Brazil or something? I don't remember. But they're trying to navigate through this church, and then they also encounter a god of the water, I think. And oh god, that episode is so good. It's just a way of maneuvering around, like especially the second half was really engaging. I have a few more thoughts on Lara Croft season 2, but I'll save that for another time because I did not watch that in 2025. Haunted Hotel. This was a surprise. Like, there's some Rick and Morty alums, especially like Rick and Morty veterans, especially Dan Harmon making this show. It's just about like a mom, her daughter, and her son in a hotel that's haunted, given by her uncle, and all the ghosts there are just kind of chill. And it's all about the shenanigans that happen with the haunted hotel, and I'm really enjoying it. I've only seen the first 2 episodes. I think episode 1 is like very good intro to the show. And they do something that typically would be for a season finale, where it's like, oh, our uncle is dead. So what we're gonna do is that we're gonna what's it called? Our uncle is dead. So we might as well exorcise every ghost in the hotel if we just want to get rid of them. And it's like, wow, that's wow. And he's like, okay, we'll also get rid of the ghost, which is your brother, the mom. And it's like, wait, no, I said the ghost. And it's like, yeah, your brother's a ghost. And then she gets stuck in. It's like, oh no, if I want my brother here, I want him to live on properly. And I don't want him to suffer eternal damnation. And by that proxy, I cannot then hypocritically say, oh, I don't mind if every other being here sort of like takes over or like suffers eternal damnation. So she's like, okay, the hotel's haunted again, fine enough, as long as I get to have you, you know. But it's cute. It's really cute. There's something about the son's character design that itches my brain. I need to break down why. I think it might be his hair that's like in 3 bumps. That that makes his silhouette so interesting, and the gap too. Oh, so fun. And then Spy X Family season 3. Spy X Family season 3 has the bus hijack arc. Uh, Yor meets Desmond's wife, or like, yeah, and it's really fun. The last 3 episodes haven't come. The dub for the last 3 episodes aren't out by now, I think. But at some point, but I will wrap them up soon, as soon as they come out. I am really excited for Spy X Family. I know what's coming in the manga. I'm not fully caught up yet, because when I caught up with the manga, more stuff came out, and I just haven't had the time to sit down and read through. But yeah, that was exciting. And a couple of other things, just 2, were the pilots I watched. So I don't necessarily count seasons of TV. I don't count pilots as seasons because it's just 1 episode. It's like a special, basically. But the difference between like a special and a pilot is that a pilot has room for more, but for now it is just a special for the most part until it's greenlit. And the only 2 that I've caught up that I've seen this year are Pretty Please, I Don't Want to Be a Magical Girl, and Knights of Guinevere. Pretty Please, I Want to Be a Magical Girl, I Don't Want to Be a Magical Girl is literally one of the best pilots I've seen. It's just like very clean storyboards and very clean animatics. And so good. It's like about burnout. It's about like feeling weighed down by the thing that you loved and who you are. Like, I saw a really nice interview with Kiana Consmith, and it's one of my favorite things that the show has done. I'm excited for episode 2 when that comes out, and I think that there's so much potential here with what Kiana could do. I'm so excited for what Kiana has in store, and I'm so excited for what Kiana like has with these characters. All of them are like very compelling right from the start, which is a very good thing for a pilot. And then Knights of Guinevere, oh my god, glitch! They never miss. When I was doing Knights of Guinevere, like when I was watching Knights of Guinevere, I was like, wow, this has like Dana Terrace pissed at Disney all over it. And it was one of the best things that I have seen in a while. And genuinely, it's like, it's about how like Disney has taken over everything to the point where we are suffering for it. It's such a good commentary on it, and I cannot wait for more Knights of Guinevere. If we don't get more Knights of Guinevere, this will have been the biggest fumble in the animation industry history. Like, trust me, it's so good. And that's kind of all I gotta say about these shows. I can't believe it took 2 streams. I really thought that I'd get through this really fast. And it's been about like what, 2.5 hours. But now, what you've been waiting for, we have stats. The total number of episodes that I watched in 2025 was 1,058. I crossed 4 digits of episodes watched. I don't necessarily know how to feel about that, but I am very excited by that. I'm very tickled by the notion. My total watch time was 24,725 minutes, which is 412.1 hours, which is the equivalent of a little over 17 days, which was it's fun. And out of these 17.2 days, about 4.5 of them were my binged watch time, and the remaining 12.6, I watched all shows weekly. So I binged 4.5 days worth of stories and content. And the thing is that, like, there's so much in a year. There's so much time in a year that you kind of have to do. So these 1,058 episodes that took 17.2 days to watch entirely means that it took up 4.7% of my entire year. Now, that doesn't sound like a lot, but it actually is, because it's 17.2 days out of 365. That's 17.2 days of doing absolutely nothing but watching television, but watching TV. No breaks, no snacks, no pauses, like just straight up like this stuff. And it's madness. 26 yeah. So yeah, 4.7% of my year went to just watching TV. I am very stunned by this. That feels like a big number. Like, the amount of shows that I watched this year alone, just, it feels like a lot. So I was like, wow, like, it's such a small number, but in the context of like sleeping, eating, things like that, like, I watched a lot of TV this year. But no, I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed doing this experiment. I think I might continue it this year, but giving it a little bit of a break. I'm glad that January is kind of quiet. But yeah, as for the episodes, as for what's coming to the channel, I have been, for the last year, I've been working on a few videos here and there, but I've also been working on posting them this year. So I cannot give a date exactly yet, but I will say that there will very soon be video analysis videos on my channel. I am going to say, at maximum, by February, there should be at least one video ready to roll. You have no idea how excited I am about this. I can't give a specific date, but I will say it's on a Saturday. As of right now, though, I'm going to be streaming every Saturday. So today's the 10th, next Saturday is the 17th, and the following Saturday, the 24th. Today I finished streaming about all the shows that I watched in 2025. Next week, I'm going to be talking about all the movies I saw in 2025. And then I'll get back to my video game nonsense. So whenever I'm not streaming, I will be trying to post a video. That doesn't mean that I will be like making sure that every single week that I don't stream, I will post a video. I'm gonna try my best, but sometimes life gets in the way, things like that. But just because I am not streaming doesn't necessarily mean a video will go up. I am trying to figure out a bunch of stuff as well. So yeah, I think that's all I gotta say. I don't know what to do now. I'm also gonna make sure that I will not say, oh, maybe I'm gonna do another one tomorrow. I will not be doing another one tomorrow. If I say that, I am lying. And that's not something that I want my audience to feel, that I'm like lying and things like that. But that's kind of all I gotta say. So I will see you all next week for another chatting stream where we talk about movies. That's all I gotta say. See ya.